It's always a good idea to pay attention to what Litecoin does. It does give a good indication on which direction Bitcoin is headed next. And a lot of times it does take the lead in the next move in terms of price action. And looking at the price of Litecoin right now, it did bottom right here at the end of June. And it looks like we are testing that first resistance level at about that 21-day moving average. And now if we do continue to get a higher low and flip that into support, then we most likely will see Litecoin head up to test some resistance levels that I will mention later on in this video. It's good to see everybody. Welcome to Currency.com's channel. I'm your host, John, here again. Find me on Twitter at RealJohnDoe is my handle. And the topic for today's video will be Litecoin. As we look into July, I'll give you an update on important price levels to keep an eye on, the trader sentiment. We'll also talk a little bit about the news that's happened for Litecoin in this past few weeks. And then we will give you guys some price predictions towards the upside and also towards the downside. Let's waste no more time and jump right into it. For those of you wondering, you can't find my Twitter page, just search at RealJohnDoe on Twitter is how you can find me, where I do post a lot of helpful tips for trading and also these analysis right here on the channel. And speaking of the channel, make sure you are subscribed. We got plenty of content on here, as you can see, staying consistent, giving you guys some helpful tips and also analysis on the top cryptos, so you do stay up to date on what's happening in the markets. And the first thing here we'll keep you up to date on is the trader sentiment currently for Litecoin on Currency.com. It does show 83% buyers and 17% sellers right now. Support and resistance levels for Litecoin. First level of support that I'm looking at is $120, and I'm looking at that range as a yearly support level during that dip that we had in June, but most of that has recovered now. And then after that, we got $90, and that was the 2020 highs right up until the end of the year. Now, if Litecoin keeps going up, right now we are right at that resistance level of about $150, and that is the 21-day moving average. Then after that, we got $180, and that is the range for May and June highs, and also right now is right along that 50-day moving average. And moving on to that brings us to $240 as the last resistance that I'm looking at. That was a previous yearly high for 2021 before the major run up. And 240 did serve as a resistance and also a support level on the way back down. So I do see that right now as the last resistance. If we flip that, then we're most likely heading back up to test those yearly highs. And are the tables turning for Litecoin? Right now it's showing that Litecoin transactions are 75% of total Bitcoin transactions. So the question is, when will Litecoin flip Bitcoin transactions? Some are predicting sometime in 2021. And currently right now there is 227K Bitcoin transactions and roughly 168,000 Litecoin transaction. Bitmain also revealed a new script miner that will mine Doge and Litecoin 4 times faster than today's machines. This was just announced here on June 19th, and it seems even if China is getting out of the mining world, they are still innovating and bringing new mining products for crypto. And it looks like the US government is auctioning about 377,000 worth of Bitcoin and Litecoin. This was all seized crypto from the GSA, and a lot of buyers did come in with bids. But one company that is continuing to buy Litecoin right now is Grayscale. They did load up on Litecoin. They did sell some of their Bitcoin holdings. And now the question could be why. Why don't we take a look at this Litecoin chart right now and see what that's telling us? So Litecoin was in a big downtrend from May here. Price came down below the 200 to 50 and a 21-day moving average, and it even broke down the yearly support levels. And now it's looking like it is finding a bottom potentially in this range. Price did bounce. Now it's testing that 21-day moving average resistance. And if we do get a flip of that into support, then I expect good things for Litecoin, which I will show you right now as a bullish scenario. So the best case scenario that I see it playing out like is something like this, where we do break above that 21-day moving average and flip that into support. And then Litecoin consolidates again for quite some time and then continues upwards to break above the 200 and the 50-day moving average, bringing Litecoin up to around that $180 level. If we can approach that $180 level and consolidate in that range, then what I'm expecting next is continuation towards 240, which is where I will expect some major resistance, or also even some major resistance here at about 180, and still give us a higher low from this trend line. And then Litecoin continues testing the highs and pushing up towards that 240 level. And I'm looking at that if Litecoin stays pushing upwards, with upwards momentum and does not test the lows again. But we do have the scenario where price can come back down to test the lows down here at about $100 to $120. And how I'm expecting that to look like is something like this, where Litecoin gets a rejection in this current range at about 150 and this 21-day moving average. We come back down to test this 120 level and make a higher low, and then head back up for the second time now at about 150 and finally flip that into support. If we get that happen, we could have some sideways price action, break above 180 and continue on the same way towards that 240 level, which is a price target that I'm keeping my eye on right now for the short term here for Litecoin if momentum has flipped, and we will start heading up towards the bullish side. And the 240 level would still give us a lower high from the previous yearly high, but from this current level that Litecoin's at right now, that is about a 72% jump, which is pretty great. So let me quickly outline the stop loss level and the upside levels I'm looking for the bulls right now. So the stop loss level would be right down here at about $110. If something comes back down there, then there is a potential for price to continue going lower for the year. But towards the upside, if we do maintain a higher low from that level, first level, as I said here, we got at about 150. And then the next level I'm looking at is around this 50 to 200-day moving average at about 180. And if we can't push above that level, then I'm expecting an even stronger push to up to test at about $240. Now, if things don't go the way we want it and Litecoin continues this downtrend that it's been on now for quite a few months, then we can see a rejection here at this 21-day moving average come any day now. Price head back down to test this 120 level. Like I mentioned, we really need that to hold, because if not, then price will most likely come back down towards this $90 level. And keep in mind, we could even get a breakout continuation from this level up to test this 180 resistance and then a rejection there. But as long as we get a higher low above 120, then I will look for buys or buy the dip. If 120 gets tested and we do wick below it, then that means that support is now weaker, and most likely we will see $90 and potentially even lower for Litecoin later on this year. So towards the downside, you have to watch for rejections at these moving averages, the 21 and also the 50 and the 200-day, because price is in a downtrend, and those are the first indications. You will need to see how price reacts to those levels and flips them into supports. But if there are rejections, then you have to watch for a higher low in price on the trend line. But if we do not get higher lows, then in fact, price will continue trending downwards until it finds a new strong support base for a bottom reversal. And if we pop up the indicators right now for some assistance, looking at the RSI, we did get oversold here below 30, just touched 30 here, right when we came down below $100 for Litecoin in June. The MACD also had a bearish crossover. But now look at this here now. We just had a bullish crossover for the MACD. And also looking at this RSI, it is in an uptrend heading up to test that 50 level resistance. Now that 50 level resistance is very important. If the RSI can flip that 50 level resistance into support on the RSI, then that lines up with the price heading up towards that $180 level. And then depending on how long it takes and consolidation is, when price heads up to that 240 level, that can most likely be the level where we will see the RSI into the overbought range with a correction to come and bring price back down towards the 200-day moving average, testing it for the first time again since the crossover, and then continue on to break out. I hope I'm giving you a better outlook right now on Litecoin, on how the charts are looking. If you have any more inputs, let me know. But as I'm looking right now, there is a potential reversal and a potential bottom. Price is at resistance, so we're going to have to see how it reacts to this first resistance level, because that is one of the first tests of resistance for quite some time now. So if we can see at least a first rejection and a breakout, the second test, then that is a very good sign. And I expect Litecoin to head up towards 240 later on this year. So there you have it. That is it for this video on Litecoin. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave your comments below. Let me know your feedback. It's always good to read your comments and know if the videos are helping you out or not. And make sure you do come back to our channel. If this is the type of content you do enjoy as well, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. And I hope to see you back again next time. It's John here with Currency.com. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.